Is all too familiar with the feeling of being the champion of champions. He's certainly familiar with the trophy, having raised it for the third time after a late surge against the comeback kid Kyren Wilson. Yeah, fabulous scenes there. You could see it meant a lot for Ronnie there. Stephen, Alan, Neil, great to have you back in here, Stephen, after that one. It had everything, that match. The twists and turns like the Alpe d'Huez.
Yeah, I couldn't see Ronnie winning it at all. At the end, to me, he was completely gone when Kyren started coming back. He was playing shots. I mean, the double with the rest was just a ridiculous shot to play. Even he said it out there with you in the arena. But he got away with it. He got, had a tremendous run of the balls in the end, which helped him. But yeah, I feel for Kyren because he played his best snooker at the end. But for a couple of little positional shots, he'd be the one with the trophy now. Yeah, it may not have been the highest quality, as both players were critical of the way that they played. But goodness me, it didn't lack for drama.
In saying that, I thought with Kyren, when he started getting back to 8-7 and then going, I thought he played some awesome stuff. All of a sudden, his cue ball was tight. Everything was on a string. Everything was going in centre of the pocket, and there was one shot that just prior to the break of 61 where he just came short on the red that he missed. But it's so near and yet so far.
It'll be tough to come back from that, won't it, Neil?
Yeah, listen, he's got every right to be as sick as a pig on that, because that's snooker for you. You get matches and that really, really hurt, and at the moment it hurts. And to be honest, I feel sorry for him because he didn't have the best of luck tonight. It has to be said. Ronnie won, but I don't know how he won, because it was a combination of his brilliance. Don't forget, Ronnie hasn't played well. He's made 3 centuries, 2 big 90s and 80-odd. He's still scoring, but between that, there was some ragged stuff from O'Sullivan.
He was 5-1 down at one point today, Kyren Wilson, and then this evening, 6-3 down. I said it to him out there. He showed a lot of character to put himself into position, get himself into a position where he could have won this one.
Yeah, we spoke about it at the top, didn't we? Try and get yourself back in the match. He actually did it twice tonight. He, from 8-5, can't remember, but he was 3 behind a couple of times, got himself right back in there. 9-8, in fact, should have got over the line. So he showed great character. Every credit to him. As Neil said, he was unlucky, and we don't often say that about finals. Best of 19s and whatever. It's a long old race, but the gods were against him.
Let's take a look at how he got back into the match then this evening.
Well, I mean, he was unlucky. I mean, but at 8-5, he starts to play a lot better. Ronnie starts to wilt a little bit, doesn't he? A few of these long putts start to go in.
Brave shot that was. I mean, it wasn't guaranteed position, but that's what he needed to do. I mean, this is the start of Ronnie's. I mean, he's missed that by a mile. You can see it. Watch Ronnie with his elbow. That's what players do. They think you've cued round the corner, so you put the elbow out. He started, but just. It's some of the worst snooker I've seen from Ronnie. I mean, Neil said the breaks he's had, but in between that, it's some of the worst snooker I've seen from Ronnie in a major final.
The good thing about this clearance by Kyren here, which obviously he has to make, he was still losing the cue ball at this time, and you're seeing it here, but he just kept recovering. Pots a nice green following that red, and off he went and made the clearance in 8-7, and then he started really getting into his game now. This black, you can tell how well he struck it, landed it on a button, top side of blue, next shot, and he really was looking good.
Yeah, he was starting to look composed and focused, and even just round the table you could tell that the confidence was starting to flow.
Yeah, wanting to make a century, so he's starting to play when it matters most. And I've always had him down as a good pressure player. I've always felt that, he's a bit like the man who, Peter Ebdon, who's helped his game. Sort of bloke, if you wanted someone to clear the colours for your life, you'd have him doing it because he's got bottle and all that. Here, I think Ronnie even said great shot, didn't he, or something when he knocked this in, something like that.
Well, I mean, he was obviously feeling good. He made the century, and it was such an aggressive shot. And I think even this afternoon he was turning these kinds of shots down. He wasn't playing his natural game.
Yeah, I mean, right at the heart of the pocket, as I said, this was the point when he just started getting his dander up. He started fancying the job and all. As I said, again, going back at the start tonight when I said, sorry, we're going to have to talk about it.
This was, I mean, I can't believe he played this shot. He's put the black safe, but he left Ronnie a red to knock the black straight back out again.
Yeah.
If Ronnie had cleared up here, it would have been a clearance to end all clearances, I think. It never happened, and you think maybe you're not going to win now.
It's one thing putting the black safe, but don't put it near another red, I think, and especially don't leave the... I think it was just too much for even O'Sullivan.
It was.
Up from there.
It was, but this is when the fun started, really, wasn't it, after that, you know? I mean, it was unbelievable. You know, a combination of, you know, Ronnie was lucky a couple of times, and Kyron was unlucky. There's no getting away from it. I'm a big O'Sullivan fan, but it wasn't his night tonight, you know. It wasn't meant to be.
He came very, very close to winning this match. Let's take a look at just the last couple of frames.
The thing that struck me here, I mean, first of all, I mean, Stephen, you wanted this shot in, didn't you?
I said in commentary, a couple of times this week he's missed that black. He actually played it playing ball because he's missed that a couple of times with side, so he played it really tentatively. He didn't get on the red properly. OK, we still expect him to miss it, but it made it missable that he didn't get on the red properly.
What Stephen's saying is right, because if he goes top side of the pack and even needs a rest, it's a dolly. The game's done.
This next shot we're going to see is O'Sullivan pre-Dr. Stephen Peters. Isn't it?
I mean, it's just...
It is. It's
I
a
couldn't
give up
believe
the
it.
game shot. I'm ready for the start of the car shot, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
And he was so lucky here. So lucky.
It's so simple. Kyron could have been a dolly red into the left middle pocket, pot the blue, clear up, win the title.
Might not have played it at a very good pace, that shot, but you know, he's very, very unfortunate. You know, Ronnie's dug out a clearance here.
This next shot, though, considering how he's played, how well he's hit that pink there, we're not, unfortunately not going to see it. He cued that pink as well as any shot in the tournament.
But he's knocked this red in as well, you know. It just continued not to be his day, you know. Unbelievable.
It started off a kind of typical decider until this shot.
This was fantastic.
A little piece of again at the top of the show that Ronnie actually, I think, deliberately left that high on the red and left-handed as well. That was a nice little touch shot, could have gone wrong.
One thing he does do, Stephen, is something that you were so good at. You give him an inch in the final frame and he takes a mile. You know, as much as he was scraping off the floor at one point, he's knocked another century in the decider because he's a winner, isn't he?
He's a winner. I mean, he said obviously pre-final that the result was secondary, but you know, I think that proves the way he made that century in the final frame that's you know, he wanted to win that.
I'll tell you what, he was wrong about something, Joe, and you were right. He thought he'd already qualified for next year's Champion of Champions. Well, the rules are this is the first qualifying event for next year's Champion of Champions. Shanghai was at the start of the season, and that's already gone. That would have got him into this tournament had someone else won it. So this is the first qualification for next year. So what you said was right, and Ronnie was wrong.
Well, there you go. I'm not often right, but if I'm right on that occasion, I'll take that one. Let's take a look at just some of the great results that Ronnie's enjoyed into his 40s. Look at these titles. This is into his 40s. I mean, he's won 66 tournaments, but these are the ones he's won in his 40s. And Stephen, you know, 10 titles like that. You know, some players are getting to over the hill and past at the end of their career. Yep,
and I think there's one or two reasons. Partly because he's picking and choosing. He's only playing events that he wants to play. That obviously helps. A lot of these events are one-table setups that he's inspired by playing in. Great venues, but as I said earlier on in the week, when he's on it, he's still a level above everyone else in the game. Even Mark Selby is world #1. So you know, and these are inspirational tournaments he's playing in. He still gets up for these, and he still seems to enjoy it. And why wouldn't he? Why would he stop?
Yeah, and I think I said at some point today that about we can now say that his attitude pretty much always is pretty much spot on. You know, he dug that out from somewhere tonight because it's 60 whatever behind at 9. I don't think myself and Neil, we were sitting in here and we thought it was done and dusted, didn't we?
Just one shot. That one shot on the cross double was a give-up shot. Start the car, I'm off home. Yeah. That was it. And when he got away with it, it changed. So, you know, that to his credit, it was just a one-off glimpse of the past, really. You know, looking back at what it used to be like. As great a player as he was then, his temperament was suspect. Well, he's not now because he finished it off brilliantly. And, you know, fair play to him. He did say he did reference the shot and say he's got no choice. He was very fortunate. He was lucky, but you know, he is the champion. And by the way, no wonder he likes the ITV events. He's won the last 3 now. I know. The last time he's beaten was here a year ago in one. In the final. Yeah. There we go. There we go. All right, then, coming up after the break, we will be looking back at some of the highlights of the week. There have been so many, and of course, the best of the week's hot shots. We're
going to begin our review of the week with a feature that always causes plenty of debate in the studio. It's our Hot Shots. So those were the Hot Shots of the week. We had plenty to pick from. Talk us through, Stephen, your choice out of all of those.
I can't remember when it was. With Judd Trump's group, was it Wednesday or Thursday? But yeah, it's the blue. It's a shot that really only you see Judd play, really. So much screw. Right-hand side in the cue ball, actually like bananaed it arc to cue ball after it hit the blue. And nicely on the red. Unfortunately, it missed the red. But look at the action on the cue ball.
What do you think, fellas?
Oh, that's a great shot. I mean, there's lots of brilliant cueing shots there, but that's got a bit of flair and class.
Qualify that. It's not under any pressure. So
the best thing about that shot is I've seen guys playing in the club and they come back and the cue goes through the net in the back of the pocket. I've seen that a couple of times. It's not pretty.
Right then, Alan, your hot shot. Let's have a look.
It was Neil. It was Robbo down the rail, down the cushion, I should say. Just gobbled up. The only downside was he didn't clear up and win the frame, but clean as a whistle. Brilliant shot.
We had a lot of the hot shots were long reds, long shots.
Long shots, yeah, just long shots. Some of them are a bit more classy about them, like my one.
Right, come on then, let's see yours.
Mine was a beautiful shot. It was Ronnie O'Sullivan. He might have actually won him the whole tournament, this shot, because in the last frame of the afternoon...
The Hot Shots tournament?
No, it might have won him the Champion of Champions because this is the frame that eventually got him 6-3 up. It's a fabulous split, isn't it? All joking aside.
We were saying snooker professionals watching that shot would appreciate how good that shot was. It's probably the best shot technically out of the whole lot.
It's missable. You can miss the bunch. Anything could happen on that shot. That thing Alan said about the ball going in the net. I didn't understand what he meant.
That could happen.
Are you in any way interested in my hot shot?
Yeah, absolutely.
I had the same as Stephen. I had Judd Trump's hot shot because I love the way the cue ball moves, so the screw in the cue ball, and every time I see that.
You just copied Stephen though. I thought you'd do a different one.
To be honest, it's not the worst person. It's not the worst judge of a shot.
Just because he won 7 world titles and Alan and I won nothing.
Right. Now listen. We'll leave the hot shots there, but that's the winner. Well done, Stephen. Nice work. We also saw something this week that we have never seen for a very long time here on ITV. It featured Mark Selby in his match against Neil Robertson. He didn't play it quite as quickly as this, but it was the most beautiful 147.
Well, it's amazing that not one of these shots made it to the hot shots because he was pretty much never in danger. I think the only shot I would put would be the last red to the last black. I think was a lovely shot, but maybe he should play at speed all the time.
And it's still longer than Ronnie O'Sullivan's one at the Crucible, and that was at normal speed. Because he's very quick. No,
it was impressive, though, wasn't it, Alan?
Oh, it was magic, and it's the first one we've had since what little Higgy done it at the Nations Cup years ago on ITV. So brilliant to see, and we were due one.
Fabulous break.
Fabulous break.
It was most certainly one of the highlights of the week. We haven't seen one on ITV for a long time. Sadly, he didn't get anything for it, but he did get our gratitude. And we didn't get a chance to see Ronnie getting a 147, but I'm sure he will...
Yeah, but sometimes for the spectators, they enjoyed seeing a 147. Sometimes that's forgotten. The prize is unfortunate, but they saw one. They went home and paid their money and saw a 147.
And just to show that Ronnie doesn't walk on water, take a look at this, because this was probably not his hot shot of the week.
Oh, no, I mean, and he laughed, didn't he? He just
he's
laughed.
Done a lot of laughing this
week,
week, though. I think he's in a good place.
Look, the thing is, Ronnie's won this tournament and he's not played anywhere near his best. What does that tell you? You know, the others have got to still catch him up. Tonight he was lucky, but he's still the best player.
No doubt about that. OK, just a quick reminder of what's coming up on ITV Sport-wise this week. On Thursday, we have highlights of England's friendly against the USA from Wembley. Coverage starts at 11:15 on ITV and 11:40 on STV if you're watching in Scotland. And a week on Friday, we've got darts action from the Players' Championship in Minehead. That's ITV4 12:45. And the snooker returns in February next year with the World Grand Prix from Cheltenham. We'll see you then. My thanks to Clive, my thanks to Phil Yates, to Stephen, Alan and Neil. Great to be with you here in Coventry again. Congratulations to Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's only just done it again.